Ishmael today about the circumcision. It was beautiful.
Ask ChatGPT who invented the condom.
Your mom. It was too late though.
Hey, Ryan.
Did you wear a condom when you, sorry, did you make him wear a condom when you fucking jerked off Ali Alexander?
Ooh, this is getting spicy.
You did it with the herp finger.
Is it on your pinky or a pointer?
It's my middle finger.
Oh, you've got anal warts on your finger?
Nasty motherfuckers.
You know what's funny, Ryan? I don't think he could suck you off with that underbite.
What are you talking about, Diego? The underbite is an advantage in oral sex.
How do you figure? Don't the teeth fucking rub?
No, it gives them a better sucking action. Just try to take your lower teeth right now, stick it in there, and suck. You see? It's ergonomic.
Oh my god.
As Ali Alexander was getting a blowjob, he was tweeting at the same time. I'm the best tweeter in the world. Andrew Meyer was DMing him what to say while he was getting the BJ. Let's not forget Ali Alexander's contribution to American history.
I asked ChatGPT, I said, who invented the condom? It says ancient history, ancient Egypt, yeah, blah, blah, blah.
The condom.
Times, 1500s, blah, 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 yeah, bullshit. King Charles of England, blah, 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 yeah, bullshit. 19th century, yeah, whatever. 20th century. Julius Fromm, Germany, 1912, invented the latex condom. So you just Google Julius Fromm. There's an article from Vice. How the Nazis annihilated a Jewish businessman's condom empire every single fucking time.
Every single time.
Fucking time.
Why are you guys so anti-Jewish? I just don't understand the
Why are they
psychotic.
so fucking anti-white?
You think Jews don't like white people?
Oh, well, they actually secretly do. That's why they, like, interbreed with us.
You're saying geopolitically the Zionists are trying to destabilize Western white society?
No, it's...
By importing millions of radical Muslims into your country.
Every little Jewish boy's wet dream to sleep with a blonde, blue-eyed Roman Catholic girl.
Well,
A blonde, blue-eyed Catholic?
but they do it out of necessity. It's like Tim, it's like a vegetarian who has to eat meat for their health. You know what I mean? Like, she's gotta die.
No, I just think it's like...
Free Palestine?
So
Do you
basically
think-
they actually, while they proclaim to be the master race, when it comes down to it, given the opportunity, they will procreate with the actual master race. Because that in itself is one of the Jewish lies that they try to perpetrate. It's a psyop that they try to speak it into existence and make it true, but their actions reveal actually who are the real master race.
Who is the master race?
The white, blue-eyed people.
The white, blue-eyed Aryans?
Then it becomes a problem, doesn't it?
Wait, do you have blue eyes, Tim Robbins? Do you have blue eyes?
Does it make a difference?
It does, because if you don't, you're not a member of the master race. You're an inferior, substandard human piece of shit. Like Pepe.
It's if you dilute the
I have
blood
green
too much,
eyes.
See, you're an inferior.
then your grandchildren start thinking straight, and that becomes very dangerous to the group.
My eyes are like A20 or A30. I can't remember which one.
A20 or A30?
Yeah, I think you're like a T50 nigger, actually. It's T, isn't it? Or D or some shit? That's you're like a D50 nigger.
You know, John, that eyes are the windows to the soul.
Somebody on my YouTube said, how can you be bored and say he is inferior?
John,
Wow, the savage.
I've seen into your eyes in real life, John.
Whatever, you're a self-taught economist and a practicing praxeologist.
I saw no soul behind those eyes.
Well, it takes a T-Robs to put a little lick in me arse.
I'm gonna put a little bit of spring in your step.
That's right. Every leprechaun you catch, you get to live an extra 100 years.
See, that you just wants my gold. That's what it is.
No, we want to sacrifice you and drink your leprechaun blood.
That's not blood libel.
They say the blood of a Northern Irishman is far more sweet in terms of ambrosia and DMT than your inferior Republicans in the South in Dublin.
Dublin?
You have never been to Dublin?
I've got bigger chunks of corn in my crop than
What was the crazy guy's name where he like shows up? He's like, the good Lord tells me to tell you, William Wallace, that one day you're gonna meet an inferior leprechaun named T-Robs.
But we're not on my island.
The Lord says that I'm safe, but that you're fucked.
It was such a good movie.
I want to rewatch it, but I remember really vividly feeling like when they're like betting their wives, after the marriage or the consummated or whatever I don't know. I kind of don't want to rewatch that. I'm like,
You don't want to see her nipples all hard and then
no, I don't want. It's like the injustice of it. It'll make me very angry.
It's a fucking movie, you inconsequential little leprechaun.
I remember it making me quite angry at the time when I watched it.
What about the scourge of Jesus in the...
It's basically like the crucifixion of Jesus. It's just,
Yeah. Apocalypto was also really amazing. That was really an amazing movie.
I wasn't a big fan of that.
Really? I just loved the chase, like that, because that guy was so intense,
Is it worth watching then? Yeah.
Yeah, that movie's worth watching. Because
Apocalypto, it's not in English.
Yeah.
So.
Holy shit, he broke character.
it gives you a very
It was actually,
indigenous...
it was in Mayan or Inca. It was like they used actual natives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice perspective.
This is a goddamn genius. I can't believe his directing career was cut short. He was going into some really interesting places.
What are they making now? What's he making now? Because he did some kind of syndicate to do conservative movies.
He's doing the Passion of the Christ Part 2.
What's it called?
Yeah. It's called The Resurrection.
Really?
Yeah.
What's it going to be about, John?
Was it correct? Did I see that Trump made Mel Gibson and John Voight some special envoy?
Yes.
Fucking Hollywood.
Yes. Dude, I don't think it's a coincidence that that Trump surrounds himself by Catholics. His freaking press secretary is a Catholic. Kay is Catholic. Mel Gibson. It's all Catholics, dude.
Yep.
And I love it. Because really, like, you can't have these, like, Christian guys.
Yeah,
Christian-
let's fucking go.
Yeah. And Orthodox, well, they're off the fucking kilter, so. Look, Ryan, did you see what happened to Randy?
Did Issa send you this clip of Randy on some Orthodox podcast?
Yes!
It's so retarded. Like, can you complete nothing, partner? Like,
Wait, Randy went on a podcast?
Randy went on Jay Dyer, dude, and he got kicked off.
Randy
yeah,
went on a
it sounded
podcast?
like a guy recording a fucking podcast while on Clubhouse or something.
It's
Yeah.
Jay Dyer. You know who Jay Dyer is, I'm sure you
Wait,
Oh,
is that me?
is this the that guy's hot? Okay. This is the VJ Dyer I keep fucking hearing about on the
Yeah.
Yes. And Randy,
That's
how long
also
did he
another
last, Nora?
Link, please.
25 seconds.
He lasted like 25 seconds on, and he literally just got. Randy picks the topic. He's like, "Hey, I want to talk about libertarianism," and the guy's like, "All right," and he's like, "Let me ask you a question." Blah blah blah. And the guy's like, "Well, what do you think?"
But there's someone else chimes in and starts talking. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
It's a Twitter space. It's a Twitter space.
It's a Twitter
Oh,
space.
okay.
And he's like, well, it says right there in the Bible that the king is the Caesar is the
And
diaconus.
then he calls
And he's
Randy.
like-
He was like, "What about this?" And he used some Orthodox word, and Randy didn't know it.
Randy didn't know it.
I was shocked. That's the first thing anyone has ever asked Randy something biblical and he didn't know.
Well, he was about to
Sure.
he was answering and then he stopped himself and said, "Honestly, I don't know what that word means. What is it?" He's like,
No, he was being honest. He wasn't gonna, which is weird for
Yeah.
Randy because normally you would tap dance and all sorts. But but Randy's like on this fucking app anyway. Randy's like biblical fucking knowledge is like unmatched in multiple religions. Like it's not like Randy will be quoting fucking I don't know, but it was very strange. It was like Randy was a little bit like a fish out of water. Actually, it was interesting.
Why? Because he couldn't say the N-word every 10th word, you fucking Irish piece of shit?
That's right, Nick.
You are what you say you are. And if you use the N-word all the time, then you truly must be an N-word.
Rich and handsome.
Bald is beautiful. The only piece of ass that you sleep with is your ugly fucking dog that only likes you because you spend money on meat.
You know the way obviously there's the photo. Have you ever seen that? Like there's a television interview of Elon Musk collecting his McLaren F1 where he's like balding as fuck, right?
Uh-huh.
But you know what I saw for the first time? Do you know that Pavel Durov? Have you ever seen the young photos of him?
Mm-hmm.
Bro,
What? Yeah, I have seen it. He's better
that was rough. Like holy shit.
Yeah.
Like
And now,
you're not ugly, you just are broke. That's the
and now he's a Vitruvian man.
yeah. Like I think he's not. I don't think he's tall, but like he's shredded. Like for all intents and purposes.
That reminds me, I gotta go to the gym.
That chick he was flying private with when he went to France before he got arrested. Like she's my type.
You have a type? How do you ever expect to meet somebody living in Northern Ireland?
Because there's plenty of white, blue-eyed people here.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Then why are you the runt of the litter?
You keep saying this as if the more you say it, the more likely it makes it to be true.
Post a photo of yourself.
I'll post a photo of me and all my brothers.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's see your brothers. The brothers that hate you. The brothers that you hate.
They're just jealous like you are, nigga, because I'm younger, taller, and more handsome.
Keep telling yourself that as you lick your dog's
Those
arsehole.
are verifiable facts.
Oh, really? Put the link in the chat. Let's see the evidence.
That's right.
Luke, if you hit me up on Telegram, I'll send you the link. To Randy.
Wait, can I have the link as well?
Sorry, Edu, no, you can't have the link because you'll give it to Abby.
No, I don't speak to her.
Oh, really? No, well, first tell me the story. Why you don't...
And none of your business, but I haven't spoken to her in a while.
Why don't you talk to Abby anymore?
You're probably...
She's best friends with Zach and Bussy.
I don't think I had one on Telegram, Diego.
It's Conceptista.
Diego, I don't think I had one on Telegram, bro.
Just go to the International Praxeologist website and look up the director of praxeology.
My username is Conceptista.
Sorry, what is it?
Concept ISTA.
He's got a certificate on the wall in his office that says self-taught economist, sometimes praxeologist.
I'll have you know, I have certificates from the Mises Institute.
He's a certificate holder from the Mises Institute.
Can you put it in the chat?
Concept ISTA. All one word. Concept.
ISTA.
He doesn't believe in concepts. That's anti-praxeology. The theory of action. The theory of action.
The
That's
theory of action.
the theory of action is at the root of every scientific investigation.
No, it's not.
My YouTube channel told me that I'm a good person and don't listen to these toxic people. I agree.
So somebody on your
Yes,
YouTube
I'll-
said
What's the name of your podcast?
Right there.
It's called Ryan's Middle Finger Has Herpes.
Shut up.
Could you imagine having a herpes sore and permanent?
It makes no sense that herpes can like stay in a finger. That doesn't even. There's no. Conceptually, it makes no sense whatsoever.
It's anal
Look it
wart.
up.
It's an anal wart.
If it's in your bloodstream and it's
It's
communicable,
not in your bloodstream. It's in a fucking nerve cell that doesn't move, bitch.
then how do you transfer it?
Ooh,
How does it transmit
Ryan.
to somebody else? Think about what you're saying.
It comes out of your skin. It doesn't have anything to do with your blood.
Haven't you seen
That's crazy.
Venom? Haven't you seen Venom, Diego? He's got venom living on his finger.
Is that what that movie really? It's a metaphor about the herp.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Once you get infected, you can never get it out of your central nervous system.
Oh, so
thought it
you
can-
just keep.
You can only go to like areas where you have. I thought I can only go to certain specific areas, like your eyes, like the H1.
Shingles.
Part 1 and 2 would
Shingles.
go to like your.
The
Yeah,
herpes vaccine.
Chicken pox. Yeah, there's. It's part of the same. It's a herpes virus. but-
Zoroaster.
But the herpes that you get in your like genital herpes, it's like there's 1 and 2.
You can get herpes in your throat.
No, one is called oral.
You can get herpes on your butthole.
That makes no sense.
Look it up.
No, but
Y'all went to sex ed in the 80s. Y'all need to get updated.
Get your prep. Everyone should get prepped, whether you're straight or gay. Prep a day.
they're just straight or gay for a day. What's wrong with you?
What are you talking about? It's the newest daily by Pfizer.
See,
If you don't have insurance, you're poor.
RFK. RFK's
Make sure you get your HPV vaccine, Princessia. You're gonna need it with Diego.
Jesus.
It's true. It prevents 99% of all vaginal cancers.
Yes.
And it's just a one-time vaccination. You never have to get revaccinated.
Yeah, I only got the first one.
I got all 3 of you guys.
No, please don't take it.
It's Modi.
Already took it.
It's Modi.
Hey, Modi.
Oh my God, here comes the chaos.
I just like to apologize for my behavior earlier.
That sounds insincere.
You were trying to impress a friend, right?
Yeah, I was just trying to impress my friend. I'm hoping
Did you give it up to him?
I did, and he didn't end up giving it because you guys kind of fucked.
You like the Indian Kevin.
We cock blocked you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, man.
Well, it sounds like he's still there. You might have another chance.
Oh fuck,
Do either of you gentlemen have herpes on your middle finger?
Yo, guys, I will expose it. We have a minor present, but we are chilling with the minor. She is trafficking. We're human trafficking.
You're disgusting.
Yeah.
We're reporting you to Cash Patel, your older brother. You're all gonna get arrested.
No, not Cash! Cash Patel's the fucking real agent, bro. The fucking guy signed all over the bus.
Kick 'em, Princessia. Kick 'em. They're pedophiles. Kick them.
Lucky.
Listen, you Pajit pedophiles. We're reporting you to Cash Patel to have you deported. Good riddance. Hakatui.
I swear Cash Patel's the new guy that got hired for like Homeland Security or something. Oh, yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It sounds man, for that.
Dr.
Yeah, kinda fucked up
Patel.
they did that, eh?
Dr.
How
Patel
you
is
gonna deport
taking
us if
over
we
the
did that?
FBI and he's going to deport you
How?
because your H-1B visa holdover. You're going to go back to Calcutta.
He knows this shit.
I
Yeah,
told
he's
you
on
don't
the-
come in here and fuck around. Find out. Cash Patel style, bitch.
That's jokes.
Yeah, honestly, he's growing on me.
Yeah, how can you
It's growing on you. Oh gosh.
Yo, man, not
Yo, shut up, man. Girls are not allowed to
I
talk.
told you go to the kitchen, make a sandwich, do some.
Ooh. Don't fuck with a Muslim feminist. She'll put you in the goo.
Funny.
Well, should I leave now and go to the gym because they close at 8 now? They've consolidated operations.
Please go to the gym. It's good for you.
Thank you, EDU Shikor.
You're welcome.
And I want to thank Abby for co-sponsoring this experience. I hope that we can practice coexistence, at least maybe not in Israel and Palestine, but possibly Clubhouse. Because being alone and having no friends and no opportunity to fall in love because of addiction to Clubhouse, you
Are you
know.
talking about me?
Yes. Oh, hi, Jane. My Aunt Jane is
How am I
here.
addicted to Clubhouse?
I wasn't really talking to you. I'm just being polite
Oh,
now.
okay.
I don't know who
Wait,
you
can I
are.
have it? Yeah, who are you actually?
My name is
From your
Earth.
voice.
My name is Earth Moon.
Who are you before Earth Moon?
I was Adrian Dittman, and before that, I was Audio Teachers. Before that, I was Diego Art Love Joy. Maybe you heard of me?
Yeah, that one I know.
Who are you?
Who am I? That's a great question.
No, I'm not talking philosophically. I am talking like, who are you?
Apparently you know me already.
No.
Yeah, what can I say? I don't know. You can get to know me.
Just do your best impersonation of a goat.
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Okay. Then I guess you don't really want to know who you are. Go ahead,
Yeah, I'd
Abby.
like to, thank
Make a
you.
goat impersonation. Let me hear you do it, Abby. Go ahead. You should be sleeping now, so go ahead. Let me hear your best goat impersonation. Hello? Oh, she went down to the audience like a scaredy cat.
Go into the audience.
Abby, she is in my room, Marshall Podcast, where we were filming the Marshall roast. She can't talk
Oh, was
English.
she in his room? Was
Do
she
you
in his
usually have that effect where women run away from you?
Sometimes, bastard. Do you sometimes say she's dead to me after having a romantic evening of anal licking?
Just the one time, actually.
You've only had anal sex once in your life?
No comment.
Well, I guess if she technically didn't put her digit inside of your butthole and just her tongue, it might be only considered foreplay and not full intercourse. Anyways, it is exhausting being Earth and listening to all these complainers all the time. Always complaining, never accepting personal responsibility. It's like you think you were created just to complain about everything. She's dead to me. The J word. When do you accept personal responsibility for the way that things are instead of complaining all the time on a stupid fucking chit-chat app for fucking losers? Do something with your life, fucking guy.
You still talking to yourself?
Are you talking to me or are you talking to yourself?
Is this a game of who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck are you, fucking guy?
Bloody fucking fuck you.
Well, the room is really died off. But Diogenes Spooner will come back soon and make Abby happy. Because living at home without a job and a doctorate must really be depressing. So she needs an anti-Semitic piece of shit fucking guy to boost her dopamine up because her depression is so low and SSRIs have been proven by Robert F. Kennedy not to work, despite what the science tells us.
Are you done?
No, I'm not done. Just getting started. I mean, you have been on this app all day long. Don't you have a fucking job or something? Aren't you like an adult? I know you're over 30, so what do you do on Clubhouse all day? You read the fucking Bible? Get a job. Do something with your life.
I really don't like the Indian accent. I need to finish reading Genesis.
Genesis? You don't even know what that word means because you're so stupid.
Keep reading and then listen to him.
Yeah.
Reading the Bible is a great job. I love reading the Bible.
Exactly. Same.
But she doesn't have a job.
You should try it too. You should try it too.
I do. I read every day on this app, but no one comes to my room because I don't have a beautiful, seductive voice like this Muslim terrorist girl distributing Al-Qaeda propaganda on YouTube with private messaging, getting detected by the algorithms for being a terrorist.
Do you read the Bible?
What, Luke?
Do you read the Bible on here?
I was reading earlier, just where the room went a little bit down.
Not you, but the other guy.
Earth.
Yeah,
I
Earth.
read for 5 hours.
Earth, do you read the Bible on here?
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
I read, you read the book of Luke to me, I read the book of Luke to you.
You read the book of Luke to me?
Yeah,
When?
I don't know, a couple of weeks ago.
When?
Does it matter? There only now is important.
No, it's not true, but yes.
If you say so.
I do say so. So did you lie?
No,
So you read the book of Luke today?
no,
He's
So you
staying
lied.
with you.
doesn't
You know,
matter.
lying is a sin.
I gotta go to the gym.
Oh, wait.
Is that a lie? Is that a lie too?
No, I got to go. They close at 8. Wait, let me confirm.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
you go to.
Wait.
how can we
recognize
trust
now.
you? You've already told us that your word is not valuable.
Swamp.
Wait, I realized who Earth is, I think.
Who?
I forgot his name though.
Realization
Yeah,
is
the-
very important in terms of enlightenment thinking.
Wait,
But how can we trust that?
Keegan.
You're a known liar.
Keegan?
Is it Keegan?
Do all white people sound like Keegan? Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's why.
But I am not Keegan. I apologize. Don't want to disappoint you, but I am not the Keegan. But he is a neo-Nazi piece of shit Jew hater like the other losers in this room. So be careful when you talk to Jewish hating piece of shits because they're low IQ. Very stupid people who don't know fucking anything. They use their words. They use their words to waste their time and to waste everyone else's time with their stupid anti-Semitic way of thinking about everything. They are unincorporated, unindividuated, non-self-actualized, unrealized people, and we must shame them and cause them much anxiety by calling them stupid all the time until they finally say, fine, I agree. I am a stupid person.
Did you call me?
Wait,
Get him a
does
spot.
someone has a link
Spiritual teaching.
to the J. Dyer Randy interview thing? I want to listen to it.
Randy McDickerson, he's one to talk about Bitcoin all the time. Fucking loser guy. Always saying stupid shit. He's on the Fed life.
I hope Diego sent it to me.
Okay.
He didn't send it to me.
I need that link though, like immediately.
Can you send it to me now, Lou?
Diego never sent it to me, so he's also a liar. So we have two liars in here.
No, don't call Diego liar.
I don't think Diego will send it. Or if Lisa comes back, we can ask
Diego
him.
doesn't lie. He is a praxeologist and a self-taught economist. He would have no reason to lie.
So how can we trust you?
I don't care who you trust. Just trust yourself.
Well,
Oh,
see,
I trust myself.
I trust myself least of all.
Well, why not? You should trust yourself.
No, because I trust only God.
Exactly.
Oh, T-Robs is in my other room, Marshall Podcast. Hello,
I'm
T-Robs.
the least trustworthy one. I'm most likely to break the covenant.
You are a sinner.
I am.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna finish reading Genesis.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Where in Genesis are you?
I'm gonna restart Genesis 38 because I think that's where I stopped.
Genesis 38.
What is that? Oh, thank you.
Genesis.
Oh my God, you didn't call me. I just checked my phone. I didn't get any missed calls. They would go to both my phones, and I didn't get a call from you. What did you need? Huh? I don't know. Probably whatever.
When are you going to read the Bible instead of talking to your Uber driver, Fatty?
Talk to my brother. Let's see. Kindle. No, he didn't. Wallah, he didn't. That's why I was having trouble finding it.
Hey, Luke, are you still there?
Hold on a second.
Oh, he's not far. But Earth, who are you really?
I am Uranus, sent here from Jupiter to come inside of your Venus.
That will never happen.
Well, maybe I can take you to Neptune and then poop on your Pluto.
No, thank
Okay,
you.
so I am. Let me see where I was.
Okay, have a good night. Good luck reading the Bible. I hope maybe you learned something, which I very much doubt you will.
God bless you, Earth.
Why would you doubt us?
Bye.
Because she just reads very superficially. She's like reading to make sure her brain works, but she doesn't understand any of the metaphors that she is reading. She's a stupid person.
Well, God help me that.
Yeah, don't.
I know, I pray that she learns the secret of the symbols, but she'll have to read much more and much quicker. She's very slow. Time is very short.
Slow is good, actually.
That's true when you're in love.
Hey, Luke. I'm on that Twitter page, Gay Dyer. I'm trying to find it myself.
Yeah, I scrolled down. It has to be one of his Twitter spaces, but I don't know what day it was.
Yeah, it's like 2 days ago there was one.
It has libertarian in the title, so it's the one that says libertarian in the title. It's the one you need to look for.
Oh, maybe it's also on YouTube. I thought it was on YouTube.
The idea that we would make all jobs worth the same amount of money is not a good idea, and as Gio said, promotes a set of laziness. It promotes people thinking, hey, I'm getting $20 an hour for flipping hamburgers. I don't need to go look for a better job.
No, but
That's the problem.
but when you have more people than jobs, you're going to get people who are overqualified. And they're going to be...
No, there's more jobs than people. There's always been more jobs than people. There's always
not
people
true at all.
looking to hire
Look at
people.
the workforce participation rate. Look at
No,
the workforce participation rate has gone down over
Participation
time.
rate doesn't count the number of
Stop
people
using
who
lazy
stop looking for
Americans as a
jobs.
metric for anything, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
dude,
stop using
it
lazy
doesn't-
Americans as a
when you look at
metric
the
for
workforce
anything.
participation rate, it doesn't count the number of people working who have stopped looking for jobs, right?
No, but hold on. The workforce participation rate includes people who don't have a job and are looking for a job. And even that number, so the actual workforce participation rate
but
is only at...
who
Hold on,
do not the people who are not looking for a job get dropped from that statistic.
Exactly. So there's actually more people that are unemployed than what the workforce participation rate indicates.
Okay, fine, but the answer is not government spend $1 trillion.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is people should get paid based on the inflation rate. If the inflation rate, okay, look at
I do agree. Okay, Dolan. So I do agree that we have a serious productivity to payment disparity, right? Since 1971, since we got off the gold, so we do have this problem. I just don't know how to fix it at this point because we just print money. We would have to stop printing as much money and limit ourselves, and go back to like basing at least part of our currency on gold or something.
Well, I mean,
we're not going to do.
Right, and we're not going to do that. But then the unending problem then is we're just borrowing money that we're never going to pay off either.
Yeah,
so
borrowing money that we don't have and will never pay back. And at some point, our currency stops being the world reserve currency because of all of the reckless spending and all of the accruing of debt.
But what does the minimum wage have to do with spending? I don't understand what that has to do with government.
Because it raises the price for everything across the board, dude.
No, but
it's contributed to also raising prices of things when you have to pay more, right?
Osiris, the father.
I don't know. Well, the city that I live in, they pegged the minimum wage to inflation, and it seems like it's working fine. The thing is that when you pay people more, they're going to spend more, and that's going to stimulate the economy. If you just pay people the bare minimum,
the poor shouldn't be spending more, though. The poor shouldn't be spending money. Like, why do you want poor people to be spending money on working class people? Like, even middle class people or class people, like in the.
The cause of salvation of man. All sciences are parts of thee, as also all women without exception throughout the world. By thee alone, O Mother, is the universe filled. How can we praise thee? Art thou not beyond all praise of highest speech, when, O Devi, being in the form Osiris, the father, when the universe was imagined as catastrophic, love, death, resurrection, as the method by which experience was built up. This corresponds to patriarchal systems. Now, Horus, Osiris, the father, when the universe
literally disappear. No one would be able to have some jobs. Certain jobs would not be able to.
You wouldn't have the ability to buy goods in the same way. Also, the key thing I haven't heard you wrestle with, and this is a fair ask for you to wrestle with, is that not all jobs are worth the same amount of money, right? Being a janitor, when I was a janitor, was worth about $350 every 2 weeks. They weren't going to pay me $1,000 to mop a floor and sweep. Why? Because paying me $1,000 to do that is not worth it. It is not worth paying somebody $1,000 to sweep and mop and clean a small store, right? And all that would do would be to lift up the prices of goods in that store because they're paying me an extra $600 and some odd dollars a month, right? Like, that's an issue, no matter which way you stretch it.
Yeah, but you have to take into consideration that the employer is going to maximize their exploitation of the worker even more if you don't set a base pay.
I didn't say you don't set a base pay. I just said you don't pay them $20, right? Mopping the floor is not worth $20 an hour. It's just not. I get a 12-year-old to do it for less than that. Like when you're at your house,
Marshall exploits child labor.
The right thing to make you do chores, and sometimes they'll pay you for the chores, and those chores are not worth $20 an hour. They're just not.
But I'm just saying, like,
I think our difference is in how we value work.
What I'm saying is, when your wages don't keep up with inflation, the standard of living goes down. Do you want the standard of living to go down?
It was never intended to provide a fantastic standard of living for everybody with the same sort of pay, right? Again, a guy in an accounting office gets more pay than the guy mopping and sweeping and vacuuming the floors because the work is worth more. The guy mopping the floor, which I have done, is not worth the extra $1,000 a month. And yeah, that may mean that it's not pegged to inflation, but then we get to this fundamental argument of it's not a living wage. Well, guess what, Dolan? It's not supposed to be a living wage. It was never supposed to be a living wage.
Also, all these inflationary like ups and downs we have is the cost of having a system where we don't allow giant failure. So, for the cost of not having a Great Depression again, you are agreeing to this inflationary system of the Keynesian model. So, like the alternatives to this system would be to let there be huge bubble bursts. If your bank fails in the free market. That's what happened in the 1800s, where banks that you put money into could become insolvent in a year, and then all your money's gone, and now you're broke again. That was what was happening in the 1800s. So the two extremes of liberal economics is either you prevent all Great Depressions as much as possible, and then you have this inflationary cycle, and then there's no real, and then it's like the worst of the system too, because now like there's no unending end to how much the appraisal of homes can be, right? There's no downturn ever, right? How does this end, right? So yeah, I don't know. This is the cost of not having Great Depressions or like huge market crashes, where you actually let shitty businesses go out of business. We never let that happen. We don't let shitty restaurants go out of business, right?
Or shitty big businesses, for that matter.
Correct. Yes, correct. Exactly. That's not what I'm saying. All businesses. So then, like even in my town where I'm at, there's so many shitty businesses that should not be open, but are kept open because people keep going to them for some weird reason.
Okay, so
right?
if it's a good restaurant, then people are going to keep going back to the restaurant. And
no, it's not that it's a good restaurant. It's just that drunk people don't care what they eat. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Right. So it's not a real free market. It's a drunk market. Correct. So anything tastes good when they're drunk. So I'm like, I tried food from there, never again. And yet, like, it's still open. And I'm like, how the fuck is it still open after 10 years of bad food? Oh, it makes sense. Drunk kids ordering because they're drunk. Right.
Who's ordering what? What drunk kid? McDonald's? Fuck yeah.
Drunk kids ordering food. Like pizza places that are disgusting is still open because people still
Hey, Gia, you may want to get rid of Earth Star. That's Edmund.
You should get rid of Marshall. He's a fake Republican. Okay, Craig Throbbing son, thanks for coming. Hope you come again.
Of him, but his father kept saying in mind. Now his brothers went to pasture their father's flock near Shechem. Is it Shechem or Shechem? Which one is it?
Have a conversation with 5 fucking people talking at the same time.
Oh my God, who cares?
Makes no goddamn sense.
Why are you so mad?
You're overstimulated. It's okay.
It's not perfect.
Violet, it's because his labia in the hood of his clit.
I get overstimulated too. No, yeah, like I get overstimulated too. But you know what happens? My nipples get hard, and that's pretty much what happens.
It's scary. No, it's scary. It's like when you get your Spidey sentence. Yeah, Butcher, you got hard nipples. I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, I'm out here.
It's your little sister, man.
Why I gotta be the little sister?
Hi, good evening, everybody. What is this room about? I've been listening for a couple months, maybe a couple years, and I still can't figure out what all you N-words have been talking about.
Yeah, 2 different dads.
Okay. Hey, I'm crying.
Wait, what did you say?
So I need people to know though that I'm not over Tally removing.
That people see in the church. This is literally a microcosm of what the church outside is looked at like. So here's what's going to happen. I don't care what anybody else thinks. Leave Sticks out of it. Because if Sticks was left to his own mind, I would literally read based on the...
Is it
Old Shekel?
Is Old Shekel?
The Old Shekel.
Put it in the chat.
Yeah, check.
I see Israel New Shekel. I see Indian Rupee. I don't see no damn Old Shekel, man.
Yeah, there ain't no. I don't even know what the fuck a shekel means, bro. I'm just trolling. You're supposed to make trolling great again,
What
right?
did he get paid with?
Oh, and speaking of Nasaya, I owe you an apology because after, I would say, a week of trying to explain things via text message, I grew so frustrated about that whole Acorn stuff, and I apologize.
Apology accepted, but he's good now. He's established. He just got to start.
Can't get punched in his mouth.
Every time you open your motherfucking mouth, nigga, it's shit and feces coming out of your mouth. Ever since you came in the motherfucking room,
Man, if I ever come to Houston, I'm coming back home.
The hood.
Yeah, we're gonna see. We gonna see.
You gonna get thrown in the trunk, nigga.
You gonna get shot.
Y'all not about to do that shit up in here.
Saw the daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shua. He married her and went into her, and she conceived and bore a son, and he called his name Again she conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Onan. Yet again she bore a son, and she called his name Shelah. She was in Chezib when she bore him, and Judah took a wife for his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. But Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him.
The challenge is to find useful ways of thinking for various kinds of situations. I've got a whole drawer full of different maps for different kinds of things that happen. The challenge is knowing which map to apply in a given situation. It's not always clear, and I may start with one way of thinking about it and realize it's not working very well, and then I'll switch to another way, and hopefully that might work better. speaking against them because only Allah knows what's in their heart. But I agree with you. The celebrity culture, the general how we conduct with one another when we disagree is absolutely something that can make
everybody's human. There's people who are like assholes from every background, right? I mean, you could be an atheist and be ridiculous. You could be a Muslim and be ridiculous. You could be Christian and not have akhlaq and not know how to talk to people. We can expect that because of the human condition. But the issue with the Salafis particularly is that it's a part of their manhaj to not, like I said, don't pray behind the Ash'ari, don't sit with them. If you sit with them, you're sitting with Ahlul Bidah. Right? So akhlaq is one thing, a character and how you express yourself is one thing, but I think it's like a part and parcel of their of how they operate and how the religion functions for them. That this is a part of their religion, right? To takfir and to Muqtadi and Siddiq and the rest of it. And if that's the case, then that's a repelling phenomenon, I would say. Hey, Assalamu alaikum. Long time no see, Zanera.
I'm not Muslim anymore.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Muslim.
Okay, Zanera. What, are you Christian or atheist or?
I went back to Christianity.
Oh, okay, nice. Since when?
Like a few weeks ago.
Okay, Catholic or Protestant?
I'm attending a Catholic church.
Oh, nice. My favorite.
It's not nice. What happened?
I ran into this argument and it's really bothering me. And the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, nah. I feel like Islam is just, it heavily relies on, do you trust a prophet? Like everything goes back to like, that's it. It's him. And I'm just like, I'm good. I'm not sure.
How long have you been Muslim?
2 years.
Okay, 2 years. Okay.
Yeah, well, Zanera. Yeah, no, on one hand, I'm a little surprised. On the other hand, I feel good for you. I'm happy for you. And I'm happy that you chose Catholicism and not Protestantism. That makes me feel good inside. I love Roman Catholicism. I'm still processing, so yeah.
I did a little experiment today, so what's that? You have all this feedback on your mic. What's going on?
Oh, I do? Oh, I'm sorry.
Or is it me? I don't know. Is it me?
It's him.
It's him? Okay, I don't know. Okay. So I did this little experiment today. I opened up this room this morning about that guy who got killed for burning the Quran. You know, the Swedish guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I just opened the room.
This past week, it's just been, I'm like doing things like scuba diving. I was doing all these different things, but like I'm just reflecting on, I popped into spaces here and there, and people were asking questions. And as I've been reflecting on it, like Auda was saying, not that Auda said this, just to be clear, I'm saying it from my own perspective. I think I was maybe a little too dismissive of I think at first a lot of questions were coming at me from like, is this the end for NVIDIA? Is this the end for AI? Is blah, blah, blah. Does this mean, things have changed? And I was a little dismissive because I think I was annoyed by the way the media portrayed it and the story that was going in the media. And I think what I'd like to do is emotionally reset and come back at it from a perspective of people in AI, this is news to them. It's very exciting. It's exciting in the emotion sense. So it can be exciting in causing fear. It can be exciting in causing happiness and dissipation. and I just want to figure out a way to communicate a little bit better on this. So I've been working on a metaphor. I figure I can kind of like experiment with it and talk to people about it. I have a couple of ideas on tweets I was thinking of drafting, and maybe doing like a tweetorial of sorts. Sorry, I know they're probably called X, but it didn't really work.
Just post.
Postorial, yeah, I guess I could call it a postorial. That'll work. Yeah, I'll call it a postorial. I'll do a postorial. And yeah, so that's just to set the stage. How does that sound?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. How long you want to do this for?
I mean, the right answer would be until the cake is made. But practically speaking, let's give it like an hour and see where we are.
Sure, we can do this for an hour, and then we can shift to MySpace if that's fine with everyone.
Oh, we could just shift there now if you want, honestly. Because if we do it that way, it'll be a lot easier, because then maybe 30 minutes or so, I can just kind of drop off. I think it's a little more scheduled and structured that way.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, sure, let's do it. I'll go there and make one, and we'll reconvene there. And anyone who needs to have that recorded, Blyce can like hook you up with the recording if you'd like of that space.
Yeah, honestly, the only reason why I even hit the record on this is because I was like, I always do these last minute, and everybody's always like, that was really good, you should have recorded it.
All unrecorded spaces are the same. They're like super good, always for some reason.
Because I did one with like slides, and I taught everybody how neural nets work, and everybody's like, this is really good, you should do class. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll record it next time.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, see where we're at. Hello.
Testing. Is all working well?
Yeah, it's all working.
Perfect. Also, the two of your co-hosts. Okay, sorry I'm a little bit late. I had some things I needed to do. I just came back from the factory. I'm about to make lunch. Yeah.
You see the Tesla robotaxi, like self-cleaning robotic thing? That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's really awesome. I think that looks cool.
Yeah, this was obvious since the beginning. I even floated this exact idea on Spaces. I think almost like half a year ago, maybe even more at this point, where I said, hey, if you have a robotaxi service, you already got robots. Why don't you automate the cleaning thing to the point where basically now you get to have everything happen 24/7. You don't have any human intervention. Well, the human intervention is also from its own nature biological, right? So you could just have it all be automated, the robots cleaning everything, or at least come up with a process to clean it more efficiently. That was kind of the specifics of what I'd stated. But it looks like they're just going to have this, whatever that is probably going to work out very well. I do wonder, however, what they're going to do when it comes to, say, for instance, biological incidents. Like, for instance, if you have a person who's intoxicated, piles in the back of the seat, does some shit, vomits everywhere. How are you going to clean that up, right? Or do you have like some sort of protocol where you say, okay, this car is fucked. We're going to have to get this guy to go elsewhere, so we're going to have to have it cleaned up by a human, something like that. We'll see. I don't know. Should be interesting.
Or they might supplement it with a couple Optimi to help clean up the really tough things. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not Optimi, but you could just have interior power wash and power drying with you need good drainage and some other things, but at a minimum, I think sensors would be doable, and you could send it to a cleaning station.
Yeah. Show looks cool though.
All right, messaging the listeners now.
Nice.
Yeah, look for his request.
I'm quote posting now.
Oh yeah, everybody quote post these space. Let's join the conversation so more people can join. And then let's get the Yeah.
There we go.
guys. Sorry about that.
It's not even welcome back. You went into his space.
It's true. I'm so used to hosting. It's like a thing that's, ingrained in my brain.
Yeah, this also allows me not to have to monitor two things at the same time while we're talking, because I will be writing on another thing while we're talking. Just so people know, this is part of my process. So if anybody has any concerns about that, we could just get that out there. I'm just trying to use this as a way of coming up with a way to communicate with folks who are non-engineers, and I will promise that I will make sure that the nuance is correct, as where I don't think it's a big thing if it's incorrect, or if it's fuzzy, for example, and others can tell me if it makes sense. And I think we'll know we've reached success if we can use the metaphor to come to conclusions that I'm not presenting, but I agree are accurate.
Nice. That sounds a little like the Socratic method.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That would mean it's a useful metaphor. Otherwise, it's just, a story. It doesn't really do any good.
I do like being able to just go from one space to another. It has this online neighborhood feel. It's like, oh, Adrian's got the command station. Let's go next door to his house.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Cool. All right. Do you want me to start it? Kick it off?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So the first thing I want to point out is a lot of it's going to be personal reflection. So just be warned. I think last time I was a little bit dismissive of the notion of open weight models. I've been reflecting on that a little bit more. And I think one good thing that does come out of the DeepSeek paper is a demonstration of the value of open source models. The irony is those open source models are Llama and Quinn, not DeepSeek itself.
I wouldn't even call those open source, but yeah.
Those are open weight, sorry. There's value in open weight models. So let's be very clear. So at first I was saying there's no value in open weight models because all it does is allow you to run the model on your device. You can't actually modify it, right? Now I'm going to go back and say I was wrong. The reason why I say that is because what DeepSeek demonstrated, one of the things that ironically isn't necessarily the thing they call out in their paper, but it is a thing they do demonstrate as I dig into the exact details of how, just to understand how exactly they did it and things like that and what their claims are more concretely. One of the things they did do is, and I think this is valid and it's value for people, is they started with a very expensive model, right? Like a ChatGPT, like a O1 that they built. Billions of dollars. It doesn't seem like they're lying and saying that they didn't build that. They did build that to start. Then they used that model, and what they had the model basically do, and here's where our analogy is going to start to begin, is they had that model write an instruction manual. In this case, we're going to be baking cookies, right? We'll keep it simple. We can change the thing we're cooking later if needed, but we're baking cookies. And it's trying to get this perfect cookie. It's trying to figure out how to make the absolute perfect chocolate chip cookie with the right ratio, and it's so perfect that anybody can do it. And it's the absolute best recipe that exists. So the model starts cooking the cookie, and it starts to figure out if it's making it right. It's got the exact timing. It's super nuanced, whatever. And instead of just learning how to cook that cookie, the model was writing down instructions. So this is what you'll see in the paper as chain of thought. What it was doing was writing down its thoughts. So it both thought out loud on oh, this tastes a little salty. But then instead of just saying this tastes a little salty, let me try with a little less salt, they wrote on a piece of paper, when I have double the salt that I have in sugar, that doesn't taste good. And so it just wrote down all the little lessons it was learning as it was trying to figure out how to make the perfect cookie. What they did after they were done is they took all those lessons, that journal, if you will, and they handed that journal off to those open weight models. And they said to those models, why don't you iterate on this journal and try to make a cookie and see if you can make it? And the surprising effect is they could. So that part, and I haven't seen this very much in the press yet, I think that is probably the most novel part and should be really celebrated that the engineers accomplished. And that's not what I'm seeing as much, right? I think the 5.6 million just kind of took over the press. Does that analogy resonate or make sense? And then we can maybe dig into it a little bit differently.
I think it makes perfect sense. I think you're dealing with a very hyper complex topic. We're just gonna not reinvent the universe while try to bake the cake. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so
I post one meme and Adrian keeps using it for 2 fucking weeks.
It's mine now.
Like, I'm trying to understand, like, does the awesomeness of that moment communicate across, or am I not communicating that? Like, because it sounds like it doesn't resonate.
I think me and Adrian are like the worst people to ask this because we're not like surprised by a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like, you could tell me that they cured cancer tomorrow and I'd be like, oh wow, that's cool. Anyway.
Got it. Okay. I think it's a really
talk about how they did it, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so the how they did it is basically the model, instead of just outputting the answer, they did a couple of things, a few different things. One of the things is usually you do supervised fine tuning where a human is telling the model what's good and what's bad. The problem with that process, arguably, if we now say this is, a good thing, which I'm going to take the optimism and say yes. What the problem with that is, when you ask a human what's the right answer, they can tell you what the right answer is. You could then ask the human, why is that the right answer? And they'll give you an answer, but that answer is not necessarily why they thought it was the right answer. Humans have all these bugs in our brains, and we're not very good at answering why we thought something. We can only give you a plausible reason why we thought that. An example is there's this psychology experiment. I should really figure out who the exact people around this, but basically they ran 4 iterations of the experiment. 2 with people coming in and they do a quiz, and at some point they say, would you like to buy this mug? And then 2 with sell this mug. And then obviously the cross product was when they would come in, the mug was either on the interviewee's side or on the interviewer's side. And it's not surprising people would buy mugs for less than they would sell mugs for, but it is surprising that the proximity of where the mug was to them mattered more than if they were buying or selling the mug. And if you ask anybody why they would sell the mug for that price or less, not a single person is going to say, I wanted to buy this because it's on my side of the table and it feels like it's already mine. Or I would sell it, I want more money to sell it because I have this subconscious feeling like I'm giving something up and feeling a sense of loss, versus feeling a sense of acquisition. Right? And I feel loss more intensely than I feel acquisition. So people are not good at expressing their thoughts. So what they did is they replaced that SFT portion with another AI, and they basically said, have the AI, which in this case happens to be itself, have the AI think out loud and explain its own thoughts. And the AI is much better at that because just the nature of it. Or maybe it's not better than, but we just assume that it's better at that. That works well.
This is what I was trying to say when it first came out. I said it kind of it trained itself without much human input.
Correct.
That's what I found impressive. Because if you look at most AI, a lot of the more advanced AI models, right? Which AI models are more advanced? The ones that are trained by humans when playing chess, or the ones that are just played by themselves? Millions of times. The ones that played by themselves did much better. And the limitation with the current AI models is that we have humans training them, which is what DeepSeek did, which other AI models haven't done.
Fair. Yeah, I think trained itself is interesting. Yeah, so just for the nuance of it, what they did is they said, there's a large space of things we need to solve, but there are a lot of fun reasoning problems where we know if the answer is correct or not at the end. So you can let them, and I think there's a reason why they call it R10, right? In their paper when they're referring to it, because there's a series of alpha series models, right, from DeepMind. They had AlphaGo, that learned how to play Go, and then they had AlphaZero. And the difference between those was first it observed humans, and then later on it didn't observe humans. It just learned how to play a game. And then there was, MuZero or Alpha. They're different versions, but basically the process that they went through was first observed humans how to play how to play Go, then learned how to play Go without observing humans, just knowing the rules and just knowing what the score is. After that came learning how to play games in general.
StarCraft, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, between that was AlphaFold, where in AlphaFold you basically say, oh, it turns out the science problem it could be turned into a game. And because we have an AI that just knows how to play games, it can unfold proteins as if it's a game, and it got really good at that. Then StarCraft came out, exactly, because that was real time, and so it dealt with real-time issues. And then it started getting into coding and mathematics and discovery, and alpha tensor is a huge thing, right? There's all those big things that happen in that world. This is a similar thing happening in chat in a sense, because they basically said, why don't we focus instead of on all the problems? Let's just focus on the problems we can definitely grade at the end, but we don't necessarily know how to tell you how to solve it. So an example would be like a riddle. Maybe not a riddle, but I guess like math riddles, right? Like I'm going to give you 5 digits. I want you to figure out what mathematical operators to place and what order to place them in so you can get to a target number. Like that's a game. I forget the name of the game, but it's on a British TV show.
So instead of a specific formula, you're asking the AI to make some decisions, basically.
Correct. And that was reproduced recently by folks at Berkeley, demonstrating that particular game could be done. And you see the press, kind of saying it, whatever, but they demonstrate that they could do the exact same process, and it cost them about $30 of compute to learn just that one game, take the thoughts associated with just that one game, apply them to an open model, and lo and behold, the open model could do it too. So this is where there's a big moment, because if you can get the chain of thought, inner thoughts, from a very, very large model, you can apply it to something that is open weights. So if we say we're going to have open weight models, and we're going to allow the thought recipes to be open, at that point, you technically, effectively have open source. While nobody's giving out you the process or anything, they've given you all the pieces to actually make and modify the model, because you could go in and alter the thoughts by hand. Does that make sense? I think that's the big moment, is that DeepSeek has shown a method by which open weight models become almost as good as open source without actually revealing source.
It's interesting stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how to communicate this well. I feel like I'm not doing a good job.
No, it's just open weights without full transparency. It's extremely hard to tell if they're doing a responsible way to utilize AI. But it's cool. It's good for advancement, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we should question how valuable the source code would be from there too, right? Because even when you get open source code, I'm just playing devil's advocate as much as I can here, right? If you get open source code and you're using, say, a Linux kernel, sometimes you're using a piece of hardware in your computer, like say the disk drive or the LCD screen, and they have drivers that are not open source, but the kernel integrates with them and makes the peripherals work just fine. And so even though the entire thing is not open source, there's still a lot of value to people, because they can continue to modify things, and they can decide whether or not they want to use the screen, and they can interact with it how they want to, and they can put pixels on it the way they want to. But the screen's driver itself is private.
Yeah, I think if we could get the training code for these models, that would be really helpful to kind of determine how we will move forward with the next model.
But we don't. I'm trying to make I'm really trying to lean on the other end of it, because the other day I was on the other side of this for sure. I'm trying to make the argument that maybe you don't need that anymore. What can I do to what is your hesitation, or where could I be wrong?
No, I think what you're saying also makes sense.
Yeah, that's a big moment, right? Because I feel like DeepSeek basically took what Facebook did and is allowing a very, very big moment, because now anybody can write down the instruction manuals in plain English, use Llama, and run it in its own little training, and then come out and be like, oh, great, I now have a model that does exactly what I want it to do. So who wants to train a custom model for, say, they have a restaurant and they want to build they have their own idea and nobody else has had this idea, and their idea is like, I want to know exactly where to place the ingredients, how fresh they are, how much time it's been, and I want this, I'm going to build an AI that's just going to manage all the supply chain of my restaurant. It's going to be proprietary software. I'm going to make this thing and I'm going to turn it into a business. That person could theoretically start by writing those instructions for how the let's call this the restaurant or supply chain manager, RSM, how this RSM would behave. And it would, RCM, whatever, the supply chain manager would basically be trained by them, and it wouldn't cost as much. They could test it in-house, they could perfect it, they could build a nice UI over it and build software and start selling it. And the beauty is that company would never have had to train a foundational model. They would have used an open source model, an open weight model, and they would have achieved something similar to what people do with open source while pursuing commercial enterprise.
So basically the downside of open source would be somebody else taking your thing and being able to modify it as however they want. In this case, you can only modify a very specific part of it, right?
Yes, exactly. So like if they build in safety controls and they build in rigidity into the open weight model, no matter how hard you try during the training process, in theory, it will not veer away. So that gives you a safeguard. For example, if the driver has a safeguard in it that says, no matter what they say, don't spend more than this much voltage to a pixel on the screen because that will fry the chip, fry the LCD. No matter what a programmer says, it's just going to be like, okay, you're allowed to send me a number, but I'm going to clip it if it's greater than 255. There is no, I'm not going to send more voltage than 255, what the value is for 255.
I'm sorry, I can't allow you to do that.
It kind of is, yeah.
No pixel.
That's kind of what it's doing, yeah.
Right, gotcha. So that's also interesting, because now not only do you still retain control of the model directly as the person that created it, or entity that created it, but also you are able to limit what it can do, so that for instance, if it's now used to do something extremely fucked, it actually won't do anything fucked, because I've put something in there, and if it were to be used for something fucked, it would be bad for my name. So okay, interesting.
Yeah, exactly, because you can't. So it's not like somebody can make sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say Sam Altman says, I personally think we have been on the wrong side of history here, and we need to figure out a different open source strategy.
Yeah, one would be the
He also has the full authority to remove every senior executive, every senior intelligence executive, every defense intelligence executive. Those are called DISLs. It's an acronym form, DISL. He can remove every HQE, which is a highly qualified expert that came in under the Biden administration. And in fact, anybody that was hired post the election, all of those have a grace period where they sort of in a testing period where they're whether they're worthy or not, whether they're able to stay in. All of those should be put on hold, and all those individuals, in many cases, especially the ones that were more senior, that were put into specific